Hey, what's up guys? So, as you've probably heard, Nintendo is basically skipping E3 this year. They're not having any sort of presentation to announce new games, Zelda's the only game they'll have on the show floor, and the only thing they're going to broadcast is going to be a Nintendo Treehouse thing that is, again, only about Zelda. Now, let's get this out of the way first. If I'm talking only about my own personal feelings on this, let's just say I was not pleased to hear the news. Oh, sweet, Nintendo revealed their E3 plans.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
For me, E3 is like gaming Christmas, and Nintendo skipping out is pretty much like we get a tree and stockings, but no presents. The rest is still totally fun, but Nintendo's always been the main event, you know? The biggest reason to tune in. But after the dust settled and I had a little time to let it all sink in,
Because a vision softly creeping.
I started to wonder if this was a wise move for Nintendo. Like, if I curb my own disappointment for a moment, is E3 really something that Nintendo needs? The conclusions I came to aren't exactly black and white, but real quick, before we get into that, let's take a look at the event itself. E3 is a time for everybody in the industry to get together and talk about their games. They reveal new titles, show new footage of upcoming releases, and give cringe-inducing presentations about casual games that are seen by literally none of their intended audience. Nintendo used to do these presentations too. Heck, they were the masters of this stuff. Then a couple years ago, they elected to skip the stage and do pre-recorded Nintendo Directs. At first it was a little weird, but it quickly became obvious that this was the way to go. There were no missed cues, fumbled lines, malfunctioning controllers, or anything. And for the people at the show, they still had new games to play, so everything was great. But apparently Nintendo just ain't into that this year, despite the fact that they've got a mysterious new system coming in March of next year, along with what we can assume to be a slew of new games to go with it. Seems to me like as good a time as ever to show up at E3, but according to them, they'll have their own event for the thing later this year. So, was it a wise decision to break away from this whole event and do their own thing? Well, this is the age of the internet. Kimishima can't so much as mutter the word NX without causing a media frenzy. There's no denying that however Nintendo decides to reveal the system, it's gonna get around, especially when you consider that the people paying close attention to E3 are the kind of people that are already scoping the internet for big gaming news. So when I look at it in that light, I can't honestly say that Nintendo needs E3. However, that doesn't mean that I think skipping it is a good decision. Here's the thing, Nintendo's in a pretty bad place right now. Even its die-hard fans can't deny that things are a little ugly. The Wii U was a big commercial failure, the 3DS did pretty well for itself, though space for a dedicated handheld is rapidly shrinking. Most of all though, I don't think there's ever been a time in the company's history when such a large number of its fans were feeling quite so frustrated and forgotten. I'm not gonna go on and on about it. I could easily go on and on about it, but basically, we're experiencing a really huge disconnect here. If things were going great, I'd say, sure, go ahead, skip E3, do your own thing instead. I'd still be really bummed, but it would make a lot more sense. But right now, more than ever, they need to be there where the action is, stirring up interest and reconnecting with fans. Now is not the time to just do whatever. They can barely afford that right now. Everybody is going to be looking at E3 to see what the big companies are doing. The way I see it, it's only a positive thing. Pulling away from it is only a negative thing. Some might argue that with so much news going on, Nintendo's reveals will be overshadowed or lost in the crowd, but I don't buy that for 1 second. This market is all about competition and staying relevant, and we're capable of taking in pretty much an infinite number of news items, especially when it comes to brand new stinking Nintendo systems. In this crazy time of uncertainty, they need to take every chance they can get to meet us where we are. Doing something different for the sake of being different is a terrible idea right now. Now, I will add one more point, and it's that even if they did want to be different and break away from E3, they could have handled it better. Nintendo's got this funny habit recently of just giving us bad news with nothing to soften the blow. So do you know what would have made their E3 plans, or lack thereof, so much easier to swallow? If instead of being like, hey guys, there's no E3 this year, but we'll do something later, and Zelda's delayed and is no longer exclusive to the Wii U. Okay, bye! If instead of doing that, they were like, hey, we're not having an E3 presentation, but we'll have a Nintendo Direct to reveal the NX on this date that I'm giving you right now. That way, we would have something to go off of. Instead, I'm certainly excited for when the day that they reveal it comes, but I'm going into the biggest gaming event of the year with a sour taste in my mouth. It's just another in a long line of what feel like tiny slaps in the face. It's just another brick in the wall, man. But there you have it. If you're skipping to the end of the video to see the answer to the question posed in the video's title, it's no, but they're crazy not to use it anyway. Nintendo doesn't need E3, just like nobody needs E3. but breaking away at this crucial time is just silliness. Well, let me know what you think about the whole thing down in the comments, and I'll see you at the big show!
Sounds of silence.